So what's going on? So with the AI, we're starting to see more and more bullshit being revealed about the AI. As I've been saying, AI is not going to destroy the world. It's not. We're having a bit of a rebalancing because new technology comes out. People start adopting it like crazy. They overdo it. This is a typical pattern. They overdo it and then they pull back because the vendors, people trying to sell the AI to you are going, hey, oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's better than sliced bread. And then you find out not the case, not the case, not the case. So that's what they're finding out now. Now, I'm not saying we don't live in a binary world, right? It's not 0 and 1. It's not black and white. There's always gray area in everything that you look at. Anything that you observe, nothing's perfect, nothing's fantastic. There's always an in between, except for Ruby. Ruby is horrible. Just avoid Ruby. So when it comes to AI, you have to use it, no question, but you have to use it properly. Just because I can use a power saw doesn't make me a carpenter. I'm still going to do lousy work on many occasions. Here's an interesting article that's hitting the interwebs. Companies are being torn apart by AI work slop. Some people call it code slop in the coding world. Stanford research finds this guy named Frank Landymore. He says, so much for AI boosting productivity. AI is supposed to revolutionize workforce productivity, but so far that hasn't been the case. Here's the article. You can look it up. The details. Essentially, it's describing the fact that a lot of times AI is being used to put out substandard work. This isn't good. This isn't good. So you got people using AI, they're putting out substandard work, and then they ship it out without revising it. You got to revise. You got to look at the work that the AI gives you. So I use AI daily now, but I'm always double checking, triple checking. I'm using it as support staff, as if I would have some junior, if I was in the development world, having a junior dev write up a bunch of boilerplate code and do some basic stuff. I would still review it because the juniors are going to make mistakes, but it will still save me time. So the AI is doing that. So what they're finding in this article is that a lot of times people will use AI and just not review it, just send up the stuff that the AI puts out, whether it be coding or whatnot, and then it gets to another person, then they have to clean up the mess. Then they have to have meetings about cleaning up the mess, and it becomes a big disaster, and they're finding that the productivity gains are not there. The mistake they're making is assuming that AI is thinking. It is not thinking. It's just a giant probability machine. Still useful, because most of the time are just assessing the world through probability as well, through association. If you do my Lizard Wizard course, links below, you'll learn that. Anyway, so you have to learn to use AI properly, meaning you have to use it as an assistive tool, and you have to understand that it makes mistakes, it puts out substandard stuff, but it can be very useful. Of course, the people selling you AI, they're telling you it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because it's marketing, right? They know that if they just tell you it's a little bit better, a lot of people are not going to adopt it. So they have to sing the story. Remember when it first came out, was it 3 years ago? And people were going, all these experts. And I was one of the guys saying, no. It is not the doom of the world. It's not going to replace everybody and everything. It doesn't think. My predictions thus far have come to pass. So what's going to happen is that people are going to realize AI's place, and they're going to start leveraging it properly. I think, you hear of these stories over and over again where companies will fire a bunch of people, and then a little while later they go, oh my God, this AI stuff is not doing what it's supposed to do, and they have to hire a whole bunch of people back. That being said, also understand, it looks like we're in a recession. The companies are now are kind of correcting for over-hiring during the COVID years. And then you got AI. So you have three things that are affecting people. What AI can do well is some of the slop paperwork that a lot of graduates in the arts would do. So it's bursting that bubble that particular illusion. But this is something I've been talking about for many years. So I would argue about 80% of programs in college, university have little to no monetary value. So for example, I did a great course in anthropology as an elective. Am I going to make money with anthropology? No. Has it been useful to me in certain respects? Yes. There are certain things I learned in anthropology that were interesting and have played a role in formulating my worldviews on things. That said, some of the things they taught me, by the way, were wrong. At the time, the prevailing thought in those circles was that animals had no memory of the past. I know it sounds outlandish today, but that was what all the scientists told us. Anthropology, philosophy, sociology, most time economics, political science, women's studies. I could go down the line. There's so many programs. Art history, filmmaking. There's so many programs out there that the only reason they had legs is because of great marketing for the last 40, 50 years, and because the West generally had no competition. So because of that, we had no competition, things were growing, the demographics were great, people could get away with these degrees, and then they created this environment where they created artificial requirements where if you wanted to work at Starbucks, you had to have a degree. It makes no sense. You don't need to have a philosophy degree. You're not going to be a better barista at Starbucks if you know philosophy or anthropology. It doesn't make any sense, right? But because of the culture and the climate, that was the case. But that's going away now. That game, that bubble, that assertion is deflating. Anyway, enough with the rant on that. These are truth bombs, by the way. So no, AI is useful, but it's not like this panacea, this unbelievable disruptive thing that people are saying. That's what the vendors are telling you because they want you to buy, but still use it. I've been saying for a while now, use it, understand it. There's huge opportunities for developers who learn to use it and understand it. I developed an AI-based fitness coach called Brad the Fitness Coach, and it is pretty damn cool. It took me months of training it to get it to the point where it's pretty damn useful. And it just greases the wheels of the process of getting in shape. And my program, my Fit Over 50 program, is based on the premise that to become a Greek god or Greek goddess in terms of your health and physicality, you have to, first and foremost, reprogram your lizard brain. It has to be reprogrammed so that your natural impulses and habits and urges lead you towards healthy activity. That's number one. Number two, it's a keto adjacent protocol. Number three, woven within the context of the whole program are these lizard brain aware, psychology first aware training principles and techniques. Next, you got to lift weights. Lifting weights, building muscle is key to everything. Building muscle is key to everything. So what we want to do is we want to retrain our lizard brain so our urges and impulses allows us to eat better foods, eat properly, spur us to do micro exercises, micro cuts, build muscle, lose fat. Our target body fat percentage, which is a much better measure than your overall weight, is 15% for men, 18 to 20% for women. Why do I hit those numbers? Because when you hit 15% for men, you look unbelievable and you feel unbelievable and your energy levels will go up and your cognitive capacity will go up. Everything will be great except you may not grow your hair back, but what are you going to do? When you write Ruby code, you have to deal with that for the rest of your life. I did that, don't write Ruby code. Anyway, so there you go. So I use my AI to grease the wheel and to grease the wheels in some of the more tedious aspects of the process. What makes it easy? So it's like having a fitness coach in your pocket. So that's a great implementation of AI. It doesn't replace everything, but it takes care of some of the drudgery work that I hate. And it's So it does a very narrow thing, but a very important thing that makes the program far more interesting to everybody. So there you go. That's the situation with AI. It's good. It's not this doom machine that people were predicting. That's nonsense. We're 3-4 years into it. It's gotten marginally better from the first version that we saw publicly, and it will be a continuous, slow, marginal process of improvement. Here's a little lizard brain aware of things. When we see something new come out, our brains automatically assume that the rate of progress will be consistent. We go from not seeing any AI, then we see this amazing stuff, and we go, oh my God, it's growing so quick, right? Because we haven't seen the years and years of development to get to that point. And so here we are, 3-4 years later since its first public launch at GPT. It's marginally better. It's better. It's better. It's not supremely better. It's kind of like iPhones. If you look back, a 15-year-old iPhone, they're not so different from today's cutting-edge iPhones, right? A little bigger, screens are brighter, better cameras. But generally speaking, it's pretty similar. I'm Uncle Steph. I train people in the ways of software development, so much more. How to train your brain. I have a new Fitness Over 50 program, which is fantastic. If you had trouble losing weight before, getting healthy, you didn't understand the whole process, you need motivation, I got you covered. Check it out, Fit Over 50. What makes it unique, several things. It's got an AI fitness coach, but takes care of the food assessments and so forth, and it gives you tips and encourages you as you go. It is psychology first. That's the first thing. We reprogram your brain. That's the key. Once the brain is reprogrammed, everything else is easy.